that you clicked on the video because I put dayz in the title, I'm going to let you down a little bit. Because this game isn't just going to be similar to dayz, but to Scum, and Project Zomboid, and Arc Raiders all in one. Like a secret love child genetically engineered in a lab to be the most perfect game ever.
What kind of game?
I have this great game.
Alright, that's probably a stretch. However, a lot of you seem to have doubts about this game, and you sure did let me know in the comments. So I'm going to go over the main mechanics of Ardem that you guys seem to care about the most. So make sure to watch all of them so you don't miss a thing, and subscribe if you haven't already. So from what I gathered in the comments, you guys are mainly skeptical on whether or not this is even going to be a real game or not, which is 100% justified. I understand. I've made a video on the day before. I was also blue-balled like the rest of you back in 2023. Go check that out if you'd like, it's actually pretty good. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that this game is very real and it's very much coming. Like, you can't sit there and tell me that a dev team would go to the effort of producing dozens of devlogs about the progress of their game, as well as having an in-depth fact about the core mechanics, just for a cash grab. It just doesn't make sense. Now that we've got that out of the way, a few people simply wanted to know if there would be a single-player mode. And yes, there will be a single-player mode, as well as a co-op, so you can play by yourself or with some friends on your own server. Don't have to worry about griefers at all. Speaking of griefers, a lot of you think that Ardem is going to be filled with cheaters, and I gotta say, I disagree. However, I thought I'd find some information for a little peace of mind for you anyway. I couldn't find anything specifically talking about anti-cheat systems in Ardem, so I reached out in the Discord, and I was told that Ardem will indeed feature an anti-cheat system of some kind, as well as tools for server admins, so you should be all good. Now, optimization, this is a big one, especially for a game that's come from being low poly not that long ago. Ardem looks stunning, don't get me wrong, but more stunning also means more workload for your system. Just look at games like Cyberpunk or Crysis when they first came out, they were melting people's PCs. But luckily, Ardem's team has been constantly optimizing the game as they've progressed, and it's been one of their main focuses to give the player plenty of customizable settings to choose from. Now for the fun one, mod support. It's a given that for any sandbox survival game you need mod support for the community, because letting your player base create their own gameplay systems and quality of life is important for longevity and growth as an early access title. And this is a massive focus for the Ardem team. They're working alongside CurseForge to make modding accessible as early as possible, which means you'll be able to make your own maps, gameplay systems, and even import your own 3D assets into the game. Pretty sick. Speaking of assets, here are a few survival tools that you'll have to find in Ardem. You're going to have your basics, bandages, a machete, a lighter, and a hatchet for harvesting, and a GPS, and a compass. I know, sounds amazing, but hold your horses, mate, because there's still a bit that we don't know about. So, Detective Games have shown us quite a variety of zombie designs, but we haven't seen any gameplay showing us the zombie AI actually in combat. And this is like the biggest part of any zombie game. You absolutely need the AI to behave like zombies. You can't be having zombies running up to you then just standing still when they're hitting you. There's got to be swiping, lunging, staggering, and even grabbing animations so it feels like you're literally fighting for your life against a hungry ass zombie. While we don't have any info on the zombie combat as of yet, the zombies do have different facial expressions that indicate their aggression level. So a zombie that hasn't spotted you will probably be chilling, mouth closed, whereas a zombie that spotted you will be mouth open, snarling, ready to eat you. I'm not expecting the combat or density to be at the level of something like Dead Rising, but it could be an immersion killer if it isn't thought out in my opinion. And Detective Games themselves have said that Ardem won't be having hordes of zombies because the optimization would be terrible. So instead it's going to work like a grid, and certain zones of that grid will spawn more infected than others. As for the types of zombies, there aren't going to be any special types or bosses, but there will be infected that are more aggressive and faster than others. And some even have a chance of going into a hyper chase mode, which just makes them super fast. However, your full sprint will still be fast enough to outrun even the speedy boys. But it's a rare chance to happen anyway, and I'm expecting the infected to be mostly slow and staggering like the walkers from Dead Island. Speaking of slow and staggering, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, the subscribe button. You see, I really want to do this YouTube thing full time and make some banging content, so if you like videos and you like games, you should subscribe. Or maybe even become a member for $1.49, because I have memberships now. Any amount of support is greatly appreciated. Anyway, back to Ardem. Also, you guys remember when I said in the last video that they were going to update the UI? Well, they did. Now, the interaction system is a lot smoother and only one prompt comes up at a time when you're looking at a bunch of stuff in a single area. And what they've done with the inventory system was exactly what I was hoping they'd do. They've gone with the grid-based inventory, which basically means you got to play inventory Tetris to organize your stuff, which I am so happy for. On another note, we've gotten a look at character customization and it looks pretty fleshed out. It's been optimized so your character's clothes will scale to fit whatever proportions you give your character, so you'll always look schmick, not looking like an ARC character or something like that. I mean, just look at the character creation menu. I know I'm gonna be spending a stupid amount of time in here checking everything out. And honestly, the more time passes, the more devlogs I see, the more faith that I have in this game to do well. Speaking of Ardem's cooler features, I want to talk about the hygiene system. This is something a lot of survival games don't even bother with. But it works how you'd think it would work. You go out to scavenge, hunt, and kill zombies, and by the end of the day, you're probably going to be covered in dirt and blood, and who knows what else. You'll need to clean yourself up, or run the risk of getting sick, which could lead to coughing, which would lead to giving away your location. Here are some images of what your clothes will look like when they get dirty. Also, something that I would personally love to see is limb-based damage. Games like Arena Breakout and Tarkov do these really well. You get shot in one arm too many times and it blacks out. After it blacks out, you can't just heal it with any old bandage. You need to use a surgical kit to patch yourself up. We don't need something like this right away, but I think that sort of system would transition really well into a survival game like this. Now, for all you gamers out there that love your lore, what I know so far is that Ardem stands for Artificial Demography, which refers to a secret bioweapon that was made essentially to depopulate the planet. But obviously everything went wrong, as bioweapons normally do, and boom, apocalypse. Obviously they're more focused on the core gameplay and optimization rather than the lore, so it's not too fleshed out yet. But there are going to be many caves and hidden locations that you can explore to find clues to the backstory. So all you exploration nuts will have plenty to do. But it just goes to show just how committed Tective Games are to this project. And like the rest of you, I'm not normally one to put my faith into an early access title that hasn't even shown any raw gameplay yet, but I'm going to be there for the playtest on the 31st of August, and we'll see just what state Ardem's going to be in. Make sure to subscribe to see future videos. Love you, bye.